Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Like, love, and share. Like, love it. Like it, love it, and share it. Good evening, everyone. This is Bishop-elect Edlin Scott, and this is Phenomenal Leadership. Excited about tonight's broadcast, and really looking forward to tonight's teaching. There's a lot that I want to share. We got 30 minutes to do it in, and so go ahead and reach out to your friends. Let them know that we are live. Good evening, good evening, good evening, my friends. Good to have you all joining the broadcast. We're on Facebook, Edlin Scott's page, and then we're on the Voice of Deliverance organization page. And of course, there's a YouTube channel, Edlin Scott's YouTube channel. Now, next week begins our Founders Week celebration. Next week begins our Founders Week celebration. So, chances are we're not going to be aired next week. Next week we're not going to be aired because we're going to be into our Founders Week celebration as we're celebrating the nation's chief apostle, Apostle Leon Wallace, his 40th anniversary, under the provocative theme. I mean, that theme just speaks to you. No matter what happens, the Lord will be glorified. No matter what happens, the Lord will be glorified. I don't care what happens, I'm still going to give God praise. And so, really great team. And so I'm going to encourage you to come on out and celebrate with him. Monday the 3rd through Friday the 7th, we're going to be doing Apostles' Anniversary. And then on Sunday at 3 p.m. is the church's anniversary. And then Sunday night we wrap up with that anniversary celebration. So it's Founders Week 2022. Founders Week 2022. We're celebrating Apostle Leon Wallace. 40th year anniversary. He's been the pastor of Voice of Deliverance for the past 40 years. He's been the general overseer. In fact, it all got started with him some 40 years ago. And so really excited about that. And so we are celebrating. We're celebrating him this coming Monday. So more than likely, we're not going to be aired anytime next week. And so the lives will be dedicated to airing our Founders Week celebration time. So if your life has been touched through Apostles Ministry, I'm certain a lot of you have been touched through his ministry. Virtually, you can be a part of it, or you can just come on and be a part of the services. We get started about 7 o'clock in the evening, and let's see where God takes us. We got some really anointed preachers, and we're looking forward to them sharing in those services. Well, if you notice, I got on my IC, my intentionally serve everyone every day. Intentionally serve everyone every day. My book, How to Be Great. How to Be Great. I'm wearing my shirt. I had a shirt made up for that, and I'm loving it tonight. And so if you don't have a copy of my book, my brand new book, How to Be Great, go ahead and get a copy. Go over to Amazon and get yourself a copy of the book. So big shout out to everyone that is coming in on the broadcast. You want to invite someone to be in with us tonight. Listen, if I were to put a topic on tonight's broadcast, it's going to be change and challenge. Change or changes and challenge, whatever works for you. Changes and challenges. And so I want you to go ahead and invite someone in on the conversation tonight for this teaching. Lorraine there in Long Island. Listen, I'm on my way to Long Island. I soon come. I soon come. Long Island has been in my spirit, and so I'm trying to put it together so I can come see you all down there in Long Island, Lorraine. And so it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. I'm through the strength of the Lord. I'm not going to allow the month of October to leave me before I come to see you there in Long Island. I got a lot of folks that watch me in Long Island. And so, hey, Long Island, I soon come. Soon come to see y'all. But we're talking tonight about change and challenge. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Invite as many persons in on the conversation tonight because it's going to be hot, 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 hot. Okay. Now, change and challenge goes together. Wherever there's a change, it presents a challenge. Okay, if you were learning the timetable, if you're done with the fifth timetable, then you go up to the sixth, so it gets a little harder. Change always introduces some level of difficulty. So it brings some level of challenge. Change brings some level of challenge. Okay, let's think about this. Let's look at it from this perspective. Over the past 2 years or so, Corona has forced a change on everything. Every single thing Corona has forced a change on. And so some people, or some of us, have adapted to the change. And the difficulty now is, the first difficulty was switching to the change. So the challenge was switching to the change, and now the challenge is switching back to the change. Think about this. Corona introduced a widespread of work from home. Do you think the average person will go back to the job? They love working in their pajamas. They love working in whatever they put on. You ain't got to fix your hair. You ain't got to put on your makeup. You ain't got to put on your tie. You can just work from home. And so you can wake up 15 minutes before it's time to start work. And you're on time. And so Corona introduced a challenge because of the change. Wherever you see change, challenge is right there. Change pulls challenge. Change pulls challenge. Now, the reason why change pulls challenge is because the average person does not like change. They like to be comfortable. And so the reason why you're going to have a challenge is because you have to walk out of your comfort zone. And so I was thinking about it today. I had a wedding this morning at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I had a wedding at 8 o'clock this morning. And so after the wedding, I went into a webinar, and then I stayed home because it was raining for a little bit, and then around 2 o'clock, then I kind of hit the road. And while home, I was thinking about the fact about what's going on. The first thing we as leaders had to have learned was, how do we lead in a Corona environment? How do we lead in a Corona environment, right? For us church people, church thrived on its ability to fellowship, touch, hug, feel, be up close in one another's face. Corona snatched that away from us. So it took a while dealing with that. And it's easy when you're in a dark room to just fuss the darkness as opposed to just looking for an option to just turn the light on. And so it was a big fuss for the longest while. Oh, the devil doing this, and the next thing doing that, and the next thing doing the other thing. And so the big fuss for a long while until finally we figured, hey, look, rather than start fussing, figure out how you can keep people together, how you can lead in that environment. See, good leaders, and can I say this? I want someone to put in the chat stream. I am entitled to good leadership. That's what I deserve. I deserve good leadership. You deserve good leadership, right? So, leadership has to figure out how to lead. And as a leader, you have to figure out how do you lead in all of these different circumstances. Because any given day, you could have some unforeseen things throw at you. Okay. Talking about change and challenges. They go hand in hand together. One of the things that I've come to understand is you cannot lead people. And you need to write this down. Come on, write this down. Write this down. You can't lead people until you find them. You can't lead people until you find them. So, think about that now. Think about that. A lot of people, the change have lost them. There are some people that has not recovered or hasn't recovered from corona yet. Some people are still toiling. Some people are still drifting from corona. And so you are misguided as a leader if you feel that you can pick up right now, right where people are, and take off. Like you press pause at the beginning of corona and then you press pause again today. No. The first thing has to happen as a leader, you got to find people. You got to find them. You can't lead them until you find them. And we just wrote a statement, I deserve good leadership. Everybody is entitled to good leadership. What good leadership offers is find you before I lead you. In other words, most of the time as leaders, we say to people, you understand what I want you to do or what I'm saying. We rarely ever stop to understand or try to understand that person. So there's two words. There's understand and understood. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, but are you understood as a person? And so when you don't understand a person, you can't lead them. You're going to have difficulty leading them. If you don't understand what a fish eats, you'll never catch no fish. Never catch no fish if you don't understand what they eat. So in order to catch fish, you got to understand what they eat. So before you lead people, you have to find them. You find them when you understand them. When you understand a person, you always, you pretty much know where they're going to be. When you understand a person, you know whether to look for them on the mourner's bench, you know whether to look for them in the cafeteria, you know where to look for them in the bathroom, or where to look for, or you know they come to work. When you understand them. Now, the difference between managers and leaders is this. Managers lead everybody the same way. The same way. Leaders lead everybody differently. Leaders lead them on their level. So, do I get frustrated because someone didn't come to work? No. As a leader, I find out why they didn't come to work. Do I get upset because somebody's on the mourner's bench? No, I try to find out why they're crying. Do I get frustrated because someone is in the bathroom a lot? No, you find out why they're in the bathroom. You try to understand them and get them to the place where they are understood. When people feel understood, they work with you. They lock on with you, they latch up with you, and then they're ready to go. We will become more successful as leaders if we understand our people. The reason why Saul told David, buddy, don't not fool with that. That fella will kill you, is because David was not understood. Saul tried to get David to understand that Goliath was a killer. But he never understood David. So David was not understood. And so because he was not understood, he was underestimated. Because in order to lead people, you got to go where they are. You got to go where they are. If Saul had went where David was, he would have not saw David the way he saw him. But he never saw him. He never understood him. Now, in order for us, because change is inevitable, change, watch this. If I, right now, it's some minutes after 9. If I play crazy and don't pay attention to the time, in a couple hours, it's going to be Friday, whether I like it or not. So change is inevitable. You could sleep through the 24 hours. You could sleep half of the 24 hours. You could work the entire 24 hours. But the entire 24 hours is going to happen whether you're ready for it or not. So change is going to be inevitable. And so since change is going to be inevitable, then challenges are going to be inevitable. So, someone said one time, you prepare for the worst, but you expect the best. So you got to be prepared for the change and the challenges, because they both got to come together. Okay, so here we are now. I think pretty much Corona's under our belt. We just figure out a way. Corona's like crime. It ain't going nowhere, so you figure out how to deal with it. And so what do we do? We now have to go find the people. One of the worst things that can happen to an individual is them to be drifting. A drifter is somebody with no directions. If right now, if you're on a cruise ship, because I like cruising, all right? You're on a cruise ship. And if the cruise ship is drifting, the cruise ship is really not going anywhere in particular. The cruise ship is not on course. It is just drifting, going somewhere. And that's where the average person is right now. The average person, because of the change and the challenge, they're drifting. And so it is necessary for good leadership right now. How does good leadership come about? How do you get people out of the drift? How do you help people out of the drift? Remember, people look to leadership to know what to do next. That's why people look to leadership, because leadership's supposed to know what to do next. Leadership supposed to see more and do more. Leaders supposed to see before others see and see more than others see. So what do you do to get people out of the drift? Leadership has to be intentional. When something is intentional, then it has a plan, then it has a cause. Okay, my shirt says, intentionally serve everyone every day. What that means is you make that your plan. You put yourself out of the way. You have a focus every day to serve someone. Every day. Serve someone or everyone every day without fail. Someone said something today that I thought was really cute and really nice. Instead of looking or demanding what you deserve, you should serve to get what you deserve. Did you get that? Instead of demanding what you deserve, serve to get what you deserve. You know, a lot of people want to get the reward, but they don't want to put the time in. Serve to get your reward. So, in order to stop the drift that our group is on, our church is on, our business is on, we got to become intentional about our leadership and about where we want to go. Now, it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult to bring people back in. right? Leaders are able to do more with less. And I like that thought. I like that thought. Do more with less. I think it was Monday, maybe Monday. Yeah, maybe Monday. I was listening to I'm doing a 5-day. I'm doing a 5-day challenge for pastors. I'm doing a 5-day challenge for pastors and leaders. And the day number one challenge was who's the man in the mirror? Leaders are trying to fix everybody, but not fix themselves. Prior to coming live tonight, I was talking to my wife, and so she was asking me about the wedding. And so she said to me, how was the wedding? And I tell her how was the wedding. And so me with my big mouth told her, I said, but I got to the wedding about 15 minutes late. So she reminded me, one of my college classes was about time management. And so on Monday, in the 5-day pastor challenge, they were talking about you got to manage the man in the mirror in order to get more out of the man in the mirror. And in other words, in order to get more with less, meaning the same you right here that we're looking at right now, that can only seemingly find 5 hours of free time every day, you could go right back into that and figure out what you could chip away to maybe get 6 hours free time. So you didn't change, the 24 hours didn't change, but some way that you could adjust your life so you can get more out. And when I began to think about that, and as it talked about the man in the mirror, it talked about how that you want to see more growth coming in your area that you work in, but you want to invest less. No, in order for you to see more, you got to invest more. And so leaders, when you have a good leader is able to get more with less. And so as we are dealing with the change and the challenge, how are we now going to get people back to work? How are we going to get them back to church? You'll be amazed right now at the many churches that still are only doing virtual service. It's easier. You don't have to pay a whole bunch of money sending your clothes to the laundry, to the dry cleaners, getting them pressed and all that kind of stuff. It's just so much easier. But is it effective? Is the church or is the group moving forward, or are they drifting? And if you find that they are drifting, you as a good leader has to stop the drift. How do you stop the drift? You got to introduce a change. Leaders are change agents. I got 6 more minutes before I end. Leaders are change agents. You can be the change agent. You must evaluate whether it's working or it's not. Did the past 2 years, do you see growth or you see deplete? Or it's a going? There's something called quiet quitting. Quiet quitting. What quiet quitting is, there's a lot of people that was a part of our church, that was a part of our group, that used to come to our businesses, that you still see them around, but they quit. They quit a long time ago. They quit a long time ago. And the reason why they quit is because there's nothing there no longer to hold them. But sometimes people just come around because, oh, that's my friend's show. That's my cousin shop. That's our family shop. It's closest to my home. But not that they really are going there intentionally. They're going there probably out of convenience or something. So they quit quietly. Now, you have to find a way. You have to find a way to stop the drift by offering intentional leadership. All right? How do you do this? How do you do this? You have to find a way to put yourself in people's lives. You have to find a way to put yourself in people's life. All right, for instance, let's just say right now, you're still stuck on your virtual services, and you want to meet with your people. Then do something different. Give everybody a cell number. Just share it out with everybody, so they can feel a personal connection. So I don't have to ask my question over Zoom or any other platforms that you're using. I could personally offer you a question. Now, remember I told you that in order to lead people, you have to find people. There must be a way. You must create a way where people are comfortable to talk to you. Some things people want to share, they may not want to share it with a whole group. And I'm sure most of you have been in a place where you've been in a meeting where the floor is open, whatever you want to say, and no one says anything. Because people are afraid of, if I be open, what's going to happen. But if you give people a platform, a personal platform where you show them that, hey, I want to understand you. I want to connect with you. Because in order to lead you, I got to find you. So, in order for us to deal with the change and the challenge, the change now is we need people out of their houses. We need people back. We need that back. We need to call it what? Back together again. We need to get everybody back together again. So, in order to get them back, we got to find a way to find them where they are. Because they really going adrift. I have called some business places, and sometimes they will say, now if you hear a baby crying in the background, we working from home now, to whatever else. Come on, man. Come on. Why have to wait till your baby done finish crying and all them other kind of stuff? And there's no discount on the service that you're offering. There's no discount. But I have to wait till you done feed the baby. I have to wait till you done quiet the baby down. The baby asks you a question while I'm asking a question and all this kind of stuff. So you got to find where people are. Some people 2 years ago was not discouraged. Today they are. So you got to find them where they are to lead them. So in order to get them off the drift, you got to intentionally put yourself in their lives. Intentionally put yourself in their life. How does people see? How do you help people to get off the drift? People learn more from what they see you do than anything else. Because, remember now, people want to see that you care before they find out what you know. So you have to now model the way. You have to model the way. And I started something a couple of weeks ago. I want to recover my Morning Glory Sunday service. I want to recover it. I want to recover it in the sense of I want it starting exactly at 7 o'clock. And so I didn't tell the praise team leader and everybody else that run the service, because I don't get on until half an hour into the service, at least half an hour to 45 minutes into the service. I didn't tell them I wanted them there. I showed up there first. See, that's what leaders do. Leaders don't tell people to do stuff what they can't do or what they are not prepared to do. And if we are dealing with the change and the challenge, the leader must be able to deal with the change and the challenges before they impose it on other people. If you can't do it, why do you feel like everybody else can do it? If it's killing you, it's killing everybody else. And so I started doing that, and I'm loving it. I'm just absolutely loving it. I have seen God moved over the past maybe month more than I pretty much ever saw him moved in my entire ministry. And the crowd hasn't gotten bigger. The crowd hasn't gotten bigger, but the spirit of God is there. And so I'm going to do it until it becomes a habit. And then after it becomes a habit, after it becomes a routine, because when you do it often enough, it becomes a routine, then I'm going to show people, hey, the routine is doable. So to get people off the drift, the people of the sea, you are getting somewhere. And then when they see you are getting somewhere, then they'll get off the drift. Well, I'm out of time, and I'm trying to stay consistent. I just want to be a better leader. I just want to be a better leader. I want to be a better leader to you. I want to offer cutting-edge leadership tools to you so that, because everybody's entitled to a better leader. Every wife is entitled to a good husband. Every husband is entitled to a good wife. Every family is entitled to good children. Every employee is entitled to a good boss. Yes. And so thank you so much for joining me tonight. I don't know. I got a wedding on Saturday, so Saturday going to be tight. I don't know if we're going to be able to do Morning Glory Saturday. But if you see the notification, then hop on over to the Facebook page or the YouTube channel and then be with us. Next week, the entire next week, we're going to be out because we're in our pastor's anniversary and church can be open a little too late for us to come on afterwards. All right? Thank you so much for being a part of Phenomenal Leadership. I'm your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott. I love you. Get a copy of my book, How to Be Great. Intentionally serve everyone every day. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.